watching Rogers TV.
Welcome to this edition of Dufferin Life. I'm your host, Teena Avery. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's my favorite time of year. And I can't sing, so I'm not going to do that ever again. It is my favorite time of year. We are in October. What is my favorite holiday? Halloween. It always has been and it always will be. Joining me today, we have Henry and Jeremy Little. They are from Haunt in the Park that's coming up, and you've been on the show before, and I'm going to stop talking. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
Well, it's great to have you back.
Yes, it's great to be back.
It is that time of year, and obviously
it is busy time of year.
Busy time of year, but it's got to be your favorite time of year, because you wouldn't do this if you didn't like it.
Yes, and it never stops, honestly.
Yeah.
So we've been talking about this since last November.
Right.
So it's a constant year-round discussion with everybody and how things are going to happen and what's going to happen in the coming year. So.
Okay, so let's talk about Haunt in the Park. Let's talk about what it is, because maybe some people are tuning in who have never heard about it before. So let's start with that. What is Haunt in the Park?
Haunt in the Park is a 6,000 square foot haunted house that we build in Fiddle Park in Shelburne every year. It started 31 years ago now, just on a front porch in Shelburne, and we've grown into the park, and I think last year we had over 3,000 people come through.
Amazing.
And we gather donations for the Shepherd Killers Food Bank.
That's really important, and we've been talking about this for the past couple of weeks about different events that have been happening across the Dufferin community with regards to food banks and the exponential need for food and how much it's grown. The need has grown
this year.
And you know, I am a huge supporter of local food banks, and well, food banks everywhere, of course, but. Yeah, I mean it's a wonderful cause.
Yeah,
to help.
it keeps everything local, and you know, gives us a reason or an excuse to do what we do. So yeah, we start off the first of October is like go day, and it takes 4 weeks to put it all up.
Okay.
And then we start the first full scare is Friday, October 25th, from 7 p.m. till 11 p.m. And also that night, there will be a Party Rockers dance for the minor kids over at the Allegiant.
Okay.
So they're in conjunction with us, so it's Halloween themed, the whole thing that way. And then on Saturday, we're going to do Saturday afternoon Saturday from 10 till 3 is the mini boo. So for the,
I love the mini boo.
The little fellers come out. It's a no mask, lights are on, more of a poke things and see things, and you know, just a fun festival type event or type environment. And then Saturday night we go right back at it and try to scare you again. And then Halloween night, that's the big night. That's the whole reason why we're there. So we do Halloween night, and it's from 6 till 10 because it's school night and you know, all that stuff.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So yeah.
So Henry, tell me, I mean I ask you every time, but I'm going to ask you again. What is your favorite part of all of this?
Probably, my favorite part is probably the build when you see so many people come out and just want to scare people.
And you like scaring people?
Yes.
Yes. So you're a part of the whole jumping out, grab, like, whatever scary thing that happens? Yeah. Have you, okay, so when it's all built and you haven't gone through it yet, maybe everybody's practicing, do you walk through it and try to have them scare you first before you take your place as a scary human?
I used to. It's been a while since I've done that now.
Okay.
But I might.
All right, so let's talk about, especially if people aren't aware of what's going on or have never been or are just tuning in for the first time, what can people expect?
Well, so we start the whole haunt off with a tour into the old mine, and you take the mine elevator down into the mine shaft, and it has been overrun by the Spider Queen.
Oh, lovely. Spider Queen.
Equal rights and all, we got to have a Spider Queen.
Absolutely.
So after you manage to get through that, then you find yourself out in an old cornfield.
Okay.
And you have to
Creepy.
make your way through the old cornfield, and then you'll stumble across an old circus run down with sideshow freaks and all that wonderful stuff that comes with a circus. The clowns, everybody loves the clowns. And then you make your way around through various other attractions and buildings, and you know, you might come across the 80s alley from all our favorite characters from the 80s, Michael, Freddie, Jason, It, all the great guys that we just...
You can't get movies like that anymore. Like, I mean, there are some really scary and freaky movies, don't get me wrong, but it's probably because I grew up watching those movies in the 80s. That,
the 80s were the peak.
Yeah.
Before the CG all come in, and it's just masks and makeup. Back what Halloween's supposed to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and then you make your way through all that fun stuff, and then you'll find yourself in the swamp. And then you end up at the witch's hut, where you get your little reward for surviving it from the sister witches.
Nice.
And on your way out.
So let's talk, I mean, you said it takes a month to build. Let's talk about the whole process again. I mean, it fascinates me, the amount of work that you have to put into this and the amount of people that you need to help you get it done.
It is an insane amount of work. So at any given weekend when we're doing full build and everybody's there, there will be anywhere from 12 to 24, 30 people there actively building and working on the haunt. Through the week, that dwindles down to 8 to 10 people on weeknights. You know, we all still have jobs we got to go to every day, unfortunately.
Of course, yeah.
But yeah, it's just it's a really good time. Everybody gets out, and it's a lot of laughing, a lot of jokes, and you know, just a bunch of like-minded people having fun in their spare time.
Perfect.
Really.
So do people have to audition to be like a scary
We do
human?
hold auditions for the volunteers for the characters.
Okay.
Because you got to be the right type of person that you want in there to be able to scare people and you know, have that right outgoing personality. Now, sometimes the quiet ones are the scariest ones, but yeah, there is auditions. I think for the overall haunt weekend, I believe there are 50 or 55 volunteers that come out and get all dressed up and take part in the fun.
Nice. So Henry, are you one of those quiet type volunteers? No. No. Do you chase people?
I wish I could.
Yeah.
I wish I could.
So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's fun for the whole family.
It is.
Got
It
the
is
mini
definitely
boo.
fun for the whole family. The mini boo for the really little kids. I like to, you know, when people are at the mini boo, it's testing the waters. If the little guys can handle it during the day and they're really hyped about it, you bring them back at night and see what
Right.
can really happen. And if they don't think they can, we do have the chicken outrun, so you can just bypass all of it and just end up at the witch's hut and get your candy. And
Are there many people that take the chicken run?
so actually last year we only had 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah, there is discussion everywhere when we're putting it up that maybe we just shouldn't do it anymore because it's space that could be used for something else, but you got to be able to accommodate everybody.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, I mean, if you've got somebody that's absolutely terrified, you need to they need
We
an
have
out.
a few that
Yeah.
shut right down and actually have to be helped out.
Wow, really?
So
So I say wow, and that's, but at the same time, it is understandable. I'm just such a Halloween person that I did the Halloween haunt thing, at Canada's Wonderland and everything. And the first time I was terrified. Like I was just like, oh my gosh, and fun, so much fun. If you've never been to something like this, I encourage you to come out. I encourage you to support the local food bank as well. But yeah, but I can see that where people would be like, this is too much for me.
Yep, and that's how we know we've done our job. If we can get somebody to the point that they're right on the edge and you really haven't done anything other than set the atmosphere and they can't do it, then we're hitting the mark.
So does it change like from swamp to yeah?
It does. It changes. Yeah. It changes every year, but there's pretty good transitions between the two, and we try to tell a story from beginning to end. So we try to make everything make sense as you go through. So it really helps keep you in that moment.
Right.
It doesn't feel kind of like over shocking or anything. It feels like you're in an actual village or town and how it progresses.
So cool. So Henry, tell me, out of all the different sections, which one is your favorite?
Probably the 80s alley.
Right.
Where
So will you tell me some of the characters you've been when you've been
I've
helping
been
out?
myself. I became a minor last year. The year before, somewhere in there, I became a swamp monster.
Okay.
I was in the doctor's office one year.
As a doctor's patient.
Okay.
Yep.
So you've done a lot of different roles and characters, yeah. And your favorite so far is
Probably the minor.
the minor.
Everybody who gets in it long enough finds a character that they kind of join to, and
Yes.
they just, if you can become the character you are, it makes it so much better because it just, everything flows and you give it a personality and everything that way. Like, some of our clowns have been at it for 15,
Clowns.
20 years. Yeah.
Clowns. I mean, I'm not afraid of clowns. They are creepy,
There's
though.
lots
right?
of people that are afraid of clowns
Yeah.
and spiders. Those
Yes.
are the two big ones.
Well, yeah, I was just thinking, what would I audition for next year? I have to think about that, maybe.
We some of our own people don't like going through the spider tunnel.
Really?
Yes.
I know a lot of my family wouldn't go through the spider tunnel. I would go through the spider tunnel. I think I would like to be the queen.
Well, you can come out for auditions and we might have a spot for you.
Yeah, like I'm thinking I could do this. Like I could really do this. I love to scare people. I like to surprise people in a good way, and I like to scare people, and I think that would be just so much fun. I'll have to.
It is a blast. Everybody that comes out loves it. And there's tons of people that come out and stand in the line, and we go out and entertain them and, try to make it the time pass. Because last year we did have some really long lines. But everybody that comes out says it's really worth it and well worth the wait. And we've even had a few people say that we're better than those guys down in Vaughan. So
Really? Well, I mean, I haven't had the chance in the past 3 years to go out because I lead a crazy life sometimes. But maybe this year's the year that you might get to scare me, Henry.
Well, if you shoot the little media girl her heads up that you're coming, maybe you'll get a private tour.
Ooh! Oh my gosh, that would be so much fun. That would be so much fun. So we've got about a minute left. So I'm going to ask you, Jerry, just why should people come out?
To have a great time and to support your community.
There you go. That was sweet and short and to the point. But yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. I mean, I've said it a million times that we live in such an amazing community, and things like this and the size of everything that you've put on and the amount of work and effort that you do, and the fact that it benefits the food bank is phenomenal.
I've been in Dufferin County my entire life, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. And it's just great to give back to the town and the county, just to show appreciation for what a great place it is.
Amazing. I want to thank you both for joining me.
Thank you.
And I'm going to be coming out to some auditions at some point in the future, for sure.
We'll watch for you.
And don't you go anywhere. We'll be right back.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Sports fans know Sundays are for football. That's why you need NFL Sunday Ticket. With NFL Sunday Ticket, Rogers customers get every live game, every Sunday afternoon, all season long. Follow your favorite teams and players live in HD. Order NFL Sunday Ticket and get up to 200 regular season games. Rogers Ignite TV customers say NFL into your voice remote.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Welcome back to this edition of Dufferin Life. Thanks so much for staying tuned with us. And if you're just joining in, as always, you've joined us at a great time. I have three very extra special guests in my studio today, and I'm very excited to introduce them. I'm going to introduce them first, and then I'm going to ask them why they're here. So I'd like to introduce you to Vivian, to Solomon, and to Major. Thank you so much for joining us today.
It's nice to be here, Teena. Thanks for having us.
It's truly my pleasure. So Vivian, I'm going to ask you to tell me a little bit about Solomon's Howl-o-Ween parade.
Well, it's brand new. It's our first year having this event. What we're doing is at Lions Sports Park on Sunday, October 20th from 1 to 4 p.m. We're having Solomon's Howl-o-Ween Dog Parade, and this is in support of Autism Dog Services. So we're inviting members of the community to come dressed up in their costumes, bring their dogs also dressed up in costumes. We have a photographer with a backdrop. We're having a penny auction, paw print campaign. It's going to be lots of fun. Come out, enjoy, support the community. Come support Solomon, fresh off being the Autism Speaks Canada Walk Ambassador, riding it high and ready to go again with his next event.
Very, very busy. Solomon, can you read your paper for me? Can you tell me what you have to say today? Read it. Here, look here. Solomon, can you look at me?
Look over here.
Solomon,
look here.
Can you look at me? Can you read it for me?
My name is Solomon. This is Major. Please come to my dog parade.
Yay! Wonderful. So Solomon would like everyone to come out to the dog parade. So let's talk a little bit more about what's going to be happening. I know you mentioned that there was a penny auction, but let's talk a little bit more about you had mentioned something about paw print.
Okay, so can I show, do you want to hold it, Teena?
I certainly can.
Okay, so Autism Dog Services, near and dear to our heart. They're the ones that we got our beautiful autism service dog from, Major, over here. This is our paw print campaign. So you might have seen us at the farmer's market the past weekend. We had these up with a minimum of $2 donation. You can get your name put on that. We have a nice big board to stick them on so you can see how you're giving back to Autism Dog Services.
Okay, and let's talk about Autism Dog Services.
Sure.
Let's talk about the importance of the service they provide and what it's all about.
Well, Autism Dog Services is located out in Brantford, Ontario. What they do is they connect autistic people or people with similar conditions to service dogs to help them with various different needs, including safety, family, companionship, even the ability to travel out in public. These are things that a lot of people maybe take for granted, but when you have a child who's known to run or to be walking way, way ahead of you and you have to pull them out of live traffic. I had 7 years of that before we had this dog. Now we don't, it's not a concern anymore.
Right.
This is huge. We cross 8 streets to get to our school, and almost every year I was pulling my son here right out of live traffic.
Oh my goodness, I mean, I can't even imagine going through that. I think we're going to ask the cameras to introduce Major to everybody so we can have a shot of Major while we're talking about the services themselves. So let's talk about the process it takes to get an autism dog.
Well, one of these dogs, first of all, you have to you fill out the application forms. And the application forms includes giving your child's diagnosis so that they see. And then you're in that application form, you're also noting particular safety needs or other needs that you have. Solomon was known to be an eloper for a very, very long time, as in take off running, especially when it upset, scared.
Understood.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and because of these things, that was the real major need for a dog like Major, which is hilarious, but anyhow.
Well, it's an appropriate name, yeah?
Yeah, so we applied for our dog, and then unfortunately this was in the midst of COVID, so a process that on average takes 2 to 3 years took us nearly 5.
Oh my goodness.
Because there's a process of meeting the people from the agency, usually some video calls, some preamble talks about what it means to get a dog, how, you know, what to expect, how long you're going to wait. And then after you talk to them after that process, you pass the first set of screening, and then they have to come for an in-home visit to see that your home is has enough space and also a fenced backyard, because a dog like this is a it's costs a lot of money to raise it, and you wouldn't want it to escape or anything like that to that extent.
Yeah, absolutely. And I imagine like when there's children and adults on various levels of the spectrum, there's different dogs that are needed.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So I could speak to that because I was just at his recertification. There were some children there who have a tether harness directly from them to their dog. We have the option for Solomon with that. We've tried it a few times, but Solomon is responding well. If you look closely at Major there, he's got a foam handle to the left of him. I walk Major, he walks to the left of my body, and then Solomon holds with his right hand on that foam handle and walks alongside the dog. So we're a pack of 3 as we walk together down the sidewalk.
Okay. So, I mean, and then he reacts obviously to whatever Solomon, like, so if Solomon has that urge to run or to go, he reacts? Or does he just kind of calm that urge down?
I find that Major is really good at reading, especially if Solomon's starting to get anxious, because I'll see that he kind of moves closer to Solomon, and that's one of the big things too.
Okay.
Major has various different commands which are in tune with what I need. As in, if I tell Major to stop, Major will stop. If Solomon were to be tethered to Major at the time, if I tell Major to stop and sit, Solomon and dog will not move because he can't pull a 75-pound dog yet. Yet.
Yes. Yeah, I can see that.
But,
yeah.
I mean, as he gets older, Majors are actually one of the larger dogs, but that's actually good in terms of down the road. My child's going to be bigger. Solomon will be bigger one day, and when he gets bigger, a big dog like this will be even better for him.
Yeah, absolutely, and they will have already built up that rapport where that connection. And did it take long for that connection?
Honestly,
to
I
happen?
think they were really close pretty early. I have to note too that when we were going through the screening process, they asked us to fill out a form. Tell us what triggers your kid.
Okay.
Because I said Solomon is not really much on barking dogs. He's been known to, before we had Major, walk right into the road when a dog would approach that'd be aggressive and barking because it's a sensory overload. He gets scared, and this is the moment where he might also elope and run because he's terrified. Major does not bark. I've heard Major bark twice since we've owned him.
Wow.
He does not bark, and that's a really important part of the screening process. They ask you that. They're like, how is your child with sensory, like licking and such? Since we've never owned a dog, Solomon was kind of hesitant because that's a lot if you've never owned a dog. I said, I don't think he'll tolerate face licking, but I think he could begin to like hand licking with practice. So the first practice things were like Solomon open palm with like a liver treat.
Okay.
And to the point where Solomon was so desensitized by having that happen that he would giggle. I thought it was funny. So these are the kinds of things.
Absolutely. So how long have you had Major?
So we got Major just before Christmas 2023, December 16, 2023.
Okay.
And it was, I cannot tell you how that was the best Christmas gift ever. When I got the call that we were getting the dog, I had tears streaming down my face. I'm like, oh my God, is this the call? Because we'd been waiting.
Right.
Our process got curtailed. The week the world shut down was the day they were supposed to come for that in-home interview.
Okay.
And then it was almost a year and a bit before anybody was willing to come into anybody's house.
Understood, yeah.
We didn't actually meet Major until later on in the training process. So as you are with, when you're working through the process with Autism Dog Services, you also go through going to the facility out in Brantford. You get to meet dogs, you get to meet trainers, you get to see the process as it's happening. And then as you're getting closer to your exit, to getting a dog after all the training and all the seminars and everything you've done, you get to handle some dogs just to see which dogs work well with you, which dogs, and the kind of vibe you get off them, because especially Solomon is not at the stage yet to handle the dog on his own.
Right.
So right now it will be an adult handling the dog on his behalf because he doesn't have all the skill set yet for that kind of control, especially if Major were to get distracted, he wouldn't be able to, I'm going to say, cut back Major's behavior, because he is, after all, a dog, and he can get startled, and even though he's so well trained.
Yeah, I mean, the training process for these types of dogs is extensive because they have to be able to
Well, I can tell you some more about Major, stuff that I've learned. So he actually was whelped and bred out in BC. He comes to us, he came to Brantford from PADS, which is Pacific Assistant Dog Services, as a puppy. He flew as a tiny puppy. He flew here, and he was raised by a puppy raiser, which are volunteer-based, that Autism Dog Services, they get volunteers, and you have this lovely paper right there if you want to show it. They're always looking for volunteers and foster families. Right now, I learned the other day, there's 45 dogs in training getting ready to take their place in society, anywhere from 8 weeks old all the way up to almost ready to go to a family. So they're always looking for help.
Yeah, absolutely. And the cost, you had mentioned the cost, and this is why you're having this amazing event, Solomon's Howl-o-Ween. Yeah.
You want to talk about the cost. So my lovely lady over there, Adele, over at Autism Dog Services, who does all the fundraising and donations, she tells me the number you want to share is a dog from training and all the way up, $30,000. Wow. That is not on the families. That is through donations, through grants, through fundraisers like this, through all of those things. And we found out Major got his name because his funding came from a major anonymous donor.
Oh, that's amazing. And I'm just going to say this right now before we get more into the event itself, but if you're not able to attend the event, you know, the information will pop up on the screen, and you can find the details about how to donate if you're able to donate. If you're not able to donate, you don't have the funds, other ways to help, and this is really important with a first-year event, is spread the word. You know, there's social media, you've got friends, you've got things that are happening, people that you know. By all means, please share the event. So we've got about a minute left. I'm just going to ask you to kind of go over the details again about where and when, so we make sure that everybody has a note so that they can help out.
Right, so Sunday, October 20th, Lions Sports Park, which is just down the road over here on Diane Drive. We're going to have vendors set up, but our vendors aren't selling anything. What they're doing is sharing information. So we have the OPP coming out. We have another group called Seeks for Autism coming out. We also have probably his autism swim school called Super Swims. They're there to help share the word, because a lot of people don't know what services are available. And when you're diagnosed and you're swimming in a sea of misinformation or no information, we're trying to help not only our agency, but also the community at large who's going to come out, and maybe they could learn something. Maybe somebody can foster a puppy. Maybe somebody will connect with a service that they needed.
Right. Well, I want to thank you both. Thank you, Vivian. Thank you, Solomon, for coming on my show.
You say you're welcome. Here. Say you're welcome.
You're welcome. And thank you for tuning in. Until next time, bye-bye for now. So.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
Today, I helped a senior find transportation to an important medical appointment.
Today, I helped a new mom find virtual programming so she didn't feel so isolated.
Today, I helped someone understand